Presented by First Merchants Bank. First Merchants Bank, helping you prosper. Get ready to learn more about the Columbus Blue Jackets players and coaches, as well as find out what's going on this week in the NHL. Now let's join Bob McElligott for the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank.
Can you believe it is the last Wednesday of August? That's right. Next week it'll be September, and that means next week we are so much closer to Blue Jackets training camp. Welcome to the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. Coming up later on tonight, you're going to hear from a brand new Blue Jacket, a guy that was acquired on draft day. Almost said trade deadline. It's not that. He got traded, but he got traded on draft day from the Colorado Avalanche to the Blue Jackets. Miles Wood will be with me a little bit later on. But right now, I'd like to bring in Jean-Luc Grandpierre, who, of course, you can see on the FanDuel Sports Network doing Blue Jackets pregame, postgame, and intermissions. And Jean-Luc, first of all, thanks for coming back again. And I need your expertise today because, as I said, it's the last Wednesday of August. Training camp is, well, you're knocking on the door of training camp right now. Let's go back to your days as a player. Where was your mindset when you got to this point with training camp just a couple of weeks away?
Well, Bob, glad to be back. Thanks for having me again. Where was my mind at this time? I mean, at this time, you're basically on the ice every other day, probably 5 days a week, to be honest with you. And you just start getting ready to compete. And, you know, the workouts are just as intense. You're, you know, a little less weights, a little bit more skating. And obviously you want to try to get your conditioning up to par because that's a big key of training camp, especially, you know, when you're in a role like I was, it's like you're fighting for your life, right? So those training camp numbers better come in pretty strong. So that was definitely my main focus at this time of the year, just, you know, more on ice, ready for, you know, the grueling season that is that NHL season, 82 games and, you know, 84 starting in 2 years. So it's not easy, but yeah, a little less golf, a little more workout.
Yeah, no doubt. Because the goal is for a player, when you show up for training camp, you want it to be, well, maybe not camp. You want the season to be less work than you put in during the summer. And you want all that work you put in during the summer to pay off for if it is a grueling training camp for you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're getting ready for that testing. And it sounds crazy, but new bargaining agreement between the players and the owners, they got rid of the testing. And that's one thing that for some players, especially role players, put so much focus on the fitness testing just to get those number high that you almost forget about hockey. So I'm kind of glad that's going completely away. Now, if you're a superstar like a Zach Werenski or a Boone Jenner or, you know, a Sean Monahan, those testing results, it doesn't matter, right? I mean, you just show up, you have a pulse, you're good to go as long as you pass the physical. But for some other players, it gives you a better chance to really get ready for the season. And that's one of the things I really felt was a big win for the players.
So you weren't a fan of the numbers. Were you ever afraid of the numbers you might put up when you got to camp?
No, I loved it, but I just realized now that you talk about it today, 15, 30 years after I'm done, is that I put too much focus on those numbers because if you look at the testing, I was always first, second, or third in every single category, except from the 2 mile run where I was absolutely horrible. This body was not meant for long distance, but for sprints. And, you know, as a hockey player, you don't train to run 2 miles. That's not the type of sport that hockey is. This is like soccer where you're running all the time. You know, it's stop and start fast, right? So for me, maybe I focused a little too much on the test. So I was a big fan of the testing because I was always in the top, you know, 2-3 every training camp.
I never understood the running either. I mean, this isn't football. It's not how fast you run. It's not how far you run. I mean, you got to skate, obviously, but it seems, and I remember back when John Tortorella was here and there was that 2 mile run, it was almost more of a psychological thing that the players had to prepare for and get over. It was almost, that was the most intimidating part of the training camp for some guys, wasn't it?
I still remember the 2 mile run, and that's when Gord Murphy first came with the Blue Jackets and assistant coach. He's like, hey, we're doing this great thing in Florida, and Gerard Gallant was the head coach, and I remember coming to training camp for that 2 mile run, and I knew I was going to struggle. I mean, it was like 230 pounds at the time, and I was fit, but built to run 2 miles in, under 12 minutes or whatever they wanted us to do. And I remember showing up, we're in Upper Arlington on this track. It was hot. And Nikolai Zerdav literally just got picked up from the airport and lapped me. I mean, now you have to remember, this is only 8 laps. But, I mean, he literally lapped me off a flight from Russia. And I trained all summer for that damn test and still couldn't compete. And me and Freddie Brightway literally dead last, the two of us. And Gerard kind of looked at us like, huh. Aren't you supposed to be an athlete? And I was like, not for this one, Gerard. Sorry.
As long as Zerdav wasn't wearing that big fur coat that he would wear in the wintertime. Because if he wore that and still beat you, that'd be you'd probably get released.
He probably would still have lapped me. I mean, it was unbelievable how fast he ran that 2 miles. But, I beat him in all the other things. That 2 mile test, he was incredible.
So that's where the players are, right? I mean, and some of them will be trickling into town. Were you a guy that liked to arrive early or just right before camp began?
Yeah, I was always there early. Even when I was in Buffalo, I'd show up probably 6 weeks before training camp. And then in Columbus, I actually spent my off season here mostly. So I was in town training at the facility all summer long. So for me, it was never a thing like, hey, I need to get back in town. I always loved being in space. And, that's kind of like how I fell in love with Columbus, is really spending my off seasons here and get to know the city a little more. Because obviously during the season, you don't have much time to do that.
No, you don't have any time to do that. You, especially for the young guys, a lot of them live downtown. Their life is going from where they live to going to the arena to going to the airport and going to another city and coming back. It's almost like I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, for young guys, in many ways, being at home and being on the road are somewhat similar, because as you get older and you got a family, then maybe you move out to the suburbs and, the kids in school and all that stuff. But when you're young, and a lot of guys on this team are, it's a similar lifestyle, no matter whether you're here or somewhere else, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's you know where the rink, the airport, and maybe the grocery store if you cook, but that's pretty much it. There's not all that much downtime during the regular season, so it's kind of like when you hear guys, free agents say, "Hey, what's Columbus like?" You have to talk to guys that have been there for a couple of years, most likely more established players that really know the area well. Because as a young player, you still, I remember in the offseason, my first offseason, I discovered so many things I didn't even know exist in Columbus. Your sole focus is hockey and not, being a tourist and to learn a little bit more about your environment. So an AHL season is long enough, right? And, they're looking at like 8 months of your life from start to finish. And you would think you would have time to discover a little bit more of the city, but you really, really don't until, like you said, you become established, have a family and kids. And now instead of taking naps all day, you're going to school and doing things with your kids or with your wife. But, when you're single, you're not doing much. So the couch, my bed, the grocery stores were pretty much my favorite places to go.
Nap all day. Once upon a time, naps all day was unthinkable. And boy, that sounds really nice now.
It really does. I roll in a couple of naps here and there. And my wife, after I retired, she's like, what are you taking naps for? And I was like, good question. I have no clue, but it feels good. So good night.
Look, if you want the yard mode, I need this nap, right? Yeah, I need it. It's part of my DNA now. It's how I'm built.
We're creatures of habits, and some of those habits, they kind of just get stuck with you because you've been doing this since you're like 12 years old. So it's not because you're retired that you're going to change everything about who you are. And I'm a big believer in naps. They just got shorter now.
Oh, indeed they have. There's no doubt about that. And if we haven't put you to sleep yet, I've got more with Jean-Luc Rampierre coming up in just a few moments. First, I want to tell you to make sure to get your Blue Jackets ticket plan for the 2025-2026 season. You can choose the matchups that you want. There are plans that start at just 11 games. There are savings up to 40% just for you. Plus, enjoy the flexible payment options and bonus tickets that you'll get for family and friends. To find out more, just go to bluejackets.com/ticket plans. This is the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank on 97.1 The Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Does your vehicle need maintenance, but you don't have time? Krieger Ford's got you covered. Enjoy our convenient pickup and delivery service, or we come to you with our mobile service van. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today only at KriegerFord.com.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Get the comfort and support with a new mattress from Serta. Find the perfect mattress for a deep and restorative night's sleep. Take control of your sleep and save big money on Serta mattresses now at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Delaware County Veterans Services, here for those who served. Located on the ground floor of the historic courthouse in downtown Delaware, our team of veteran county veteran service officers is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Need a ride to a VA appointment? Facing a financial emergency? Are you or your spouse simply looking for answers? Then give Delaware County Veterans Services a call. 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment. Delaware County Veterans Services.
Dormar, you're kind of cute.
Ugh, gross. Can I come over to your house one time and you not have your husband prancing around in his tidy whities?
Well, I can't do laundry because our septic line is clogged.
Call Dormar. They do same-day plumbing repair.
Dormar, you're kind of cute.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and a multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I cannot imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
T-Bone and Tyvis.
I'm trunk heavy. That's kind of what I am doing.
You hold all your weight in your legs.
Yeah, look at me. I mean, it's all everywhere, but bottom half, I'm thick. I'm a thick bottom.
T-Bone and Tyvis Mornings on the Fan is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
You know, it's not the shoes. It's what you can put in them that makes all the difference. Hey, it's Anthony. I've been a customer at the Good Feet store for a while now, and I'm all about my personally fit arch supports. They support my feet better than all the insoles I've jammed into my shoes over the years. And my Good Feet arch supports help me in a ton of ways, from overall support and balance to stabilizing my heels, and the fact they distribute my body weight, especially when I'm golfing. I literally have spring in my step now. Check them out for yourself. The free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort. It's simple. Just stop by the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City. You don't need an appointment, but you can certainly schedule one very easily online. Get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of, just like me. Get professionally fitted at goodfeet.com.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean, interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
Everyone has that one goal, that thing they want to prove, not to other people, but to themselves. Then, right when you think you could actually do it, cancer. And that goal is still within reach. Oh no, I'm about to run my first ever marathon with my 2 best friends. 3 years after having cancer.
At least we look good in these shorts.
Woo! Let's get it, guys. You, keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
You hear that crunch?
It's not just any crunch. It's cheesy to the edge crust that only comes from a Jets Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed dough topped with premium mozzarella, the freshest ingredients, and ladled with Mama Jet's secret sauce. Then baked to perfection in steel pans born on Motor City lines. I bet you're real hungry now. Go ahead. Visit jetspizza.com for daily hot deals. Jets. Better because it has to be.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Sunny skies, light winds, low humidity, and a nice finish today. Temperatures in the mid-70s. We'll see a few more clouds by Thursday morning, but we'll start the day dry. Temperatures in the low 50s. Back in the mid-70s by late Thursday, but mostly cloudy skies and a few widely scattered showers by the end of the day. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
All Blue Jackets, all the time. This is the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McGilligan. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
I'm talking with Jean-Luc Grand-Pierre, former Blue Jackets defenseman, and of course you can find him on FanDuel Sports, pregame, postgame, intermissions for the Blue Jackets. Okay, I gave Jean-Luc a little bit of a homework assignment, if you will, and now we're going to test him and see if he was on it. There was an article in The Athletic this week, and basically the article, not basically, actually, the article, it's titled NHL Front Office Confidence Rankings, How Fans Feel About Every Team in 2025. So The Athletic polls fans, they get all this information, and then they rank the teams 1 through 32 as far as, the confidence in the front office. And the Blue Jackets in this, and this is why I gave Jean-Luc this assignment, because there were a couple of things that jumped out at me. I was reading down through the list, and I was reading it in order, and I'm going through, and everything's fine, and I get to number 14, and it says Colorado Avalanche, and they're, talking about what the fans of Colorado are saying about the Avalanche, and one thing that jumped out to me in this, it says they got a massive haul for Charlie Coyle that included dumping Miles Wood's contract. They shored up the blue line with Brent Burns at a cheap cost. Anyway, so I saw that and I was like, well, wait a minute, like a huge haul. What is a huge haul? Where are they getting this huge haul thing? So I scrolled down and I find the Blue Jackets ranked at number 16, and the description there, it says that, where is this? It says they paid an exorbitant price to acquire Charlie Coyle. Jean-Luc, correct me if I'm wrong here. Look, they traded Gavin Brindley, and I understand Gavin Brindley has a lot of upside, and he's got great potential. He was a second-round pick. He's a small forward. I mean a small guy. And this is a team that's looking to get bigger based on what the guys they got. There's your example right there. Also, a third-round pick and a conditional second-round pick, I think, went in that. I just don't see this as an exorbitant price. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. You look, and time will tell, right? Now, if Gavin Brindley end up on the line with Nate McKinnon, at the end of the year, and, he's point a guy a game this season, maybe you're looking back on this and you're like, But to me, you have to look at the need for each team, right? For the Blue Jackets, clearly the center position is somewhere that, 2 years ago, this team had Boone Jenner as a center, and that was pretty much it, right? You had Cole Sillinger and Boone Jenner, Sean Corrali. And you look now with Ken Johnson. You got, we don't even talk about Ken Johnson or Voronkov or Boone being centers anymore because they've gotten so many centers. So that's their priority right now. I think Coyle, they wanted a right-handed centerman. That was a need that they had. They cleaned that up. And then, yes, Miles Wood, player that Colorado said, if you're taking Cole, you have to take Miles Wood as well. But you look at the identity of this team now under Dean Evison, it just screams Miles Wood and Charlie Coyle. So as a general manager, you create a roster and hopefully you can accommodate the need of your coach. And for Dean Evison, guys like Miles Woods, guys like Charlie Coyle, that's cup of tea for the need of the team. And nothing against Gavin Brindley, but Dean Evison and Gavin Brindley style, they just don't seem like the perfect match. So for the need of the Blue Jackets, I think that was the appropriate price. Now for Colorado, it's a different story because they're like, okay, Woods had some injury problem. That's not quite the speed or the type of play that the Colorado Avalanche and Jared Bednar like to play. To them, he was very expandable. And same thing for Charlie Coyle. They want to bring speed. They got speed with Brindley. Hopefully it works out. So I think both teams got what they want out of the trade. So to say that the Blue Jackets paid an exorbitant price for him, I don't think is fair.
All right. So you passed. You get an A on your assignment.
I got an A.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good break.
See what happened next year, right? With these rankings, because I was looking at all the other teams and I was just laughing my whole way down that list. Because you look at the Blue Jackets, right? They were ranked 16th, right? How many teams make the playoffs in the league? 8 on each side, right? 16. So Jackets end up 17th. So they're right about where they finished in a ranking as far as the confidence. Teams that are higher are going to be higher and lower. But the one that really jumped to me was the Nashville Predators, because you look at last season, their ranking was so high. And this year, let me take a look real quick. I want to say they went from 10th to 31st this year, simply because it didn't go right for them this year. Yeah, they were ranked 10th last year after signing Stamkos and signing all the Marchessault. And then now this year, after one season, they're like, forget it, 31st. So it just shows you a little bit. It's a result-based business. There's no result-driven business, no doubt about it. So is the opinion of management.
I'm glad you brought up Nashville too, because that's the way they're perceived, because they were so much underperformed last year. But I got to tell you, I'm not exactly thrilled about that being an opening night opponent, especially on the road, because you have a Blue Jackets team that's got expectations on it now, and that's their thing to deal with. In Nashville, and I just saw an interview with Philip Forsberg that the guys from the Fourth Period did when they were over on that European tour, when they were talking about, have you guys talked throughout the summer? Have you gone through this? And he's like, oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. He said, of course, we've got it figured out in May, but we got to play it again. I mean, that's going to be a hungry team to show everybody what happened last year was just a mistake. That's not going to happen again.
Absolutely. Big mistake. Now, they had some injury problems. It just didn't mesh well with that last season. Obviously, they have to address that. But Staros didn't have a great year. Roman Josi was hurt. And you look, they got rid of Dante Fabro, who, find himself on the first pair here. They got rid of Carrier, who would find himself on the first pair in Montreal. Like, literally, they got rid of all guys. So it was a good team. It did not mesh right. So to me, I think you got to expect a completely different season than the Nashville Predators. Wouldn't be surprised if they make the playoff and make a run. It was just a bad season. And unfortunately, that happens once in a while. They make such a splash during free agency that you did not expect that. So that was a big disappointment.
It seemed like Barry Trotz at times was acting like a coach who was a GM, meaning, you're putting together almost a fantasy hockey team with the Steven Stamkoses and that kind of stuff. But even more so, to your point, Jean-Luc, Dante Fabro just doesn't work here anymore. Let's let him go. And he's on waivers, and all of a sudden the Blue Jackets have a top pairing guy for Zach Werenski, because, in the coach's mindset, if this guy stinks today, we don't need him. And the GM is usually the more, he's projecting and all that stuff. So, look, I like Barry Trotz. I think he'll do a fine job in this role. But, when everything goes bad, it's very easy to pick that apart and say, you can't manage like you're still a coach, right?
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that about the coach mentality, because you look at it and typically the first thing a GM does is fire the coach. And Barry Trotz, former coach, went the opposite. It's like, it's not the coach's fault, it's the players. And all of a sudden he's like, you're gone. And he kept this coach all year, which was a huge surprise. Let's not kid ourselves. So if he's going to give him as much leash this season as he did last year. But I think at some point, if that doesn't work out, the coach is probably going to have to go, unfortunately, in Nashville. But I expect to bounce back from them.
Yeah, Andrew Burnett was not only has had success coaching elsewhere, but was also a player for Barry Trotz, too. So there's that connection. But you're right. That leash is so much shorter in year 2. There's no way they're going to go through that again because then, it reflects on you as a general manager. So but as they always say, Jean-Luc, once you push that button and you pull the trigger on getting rid of the coach, then all the focus comes back to you. So it's best for all of them if the players just do their jobs and they all keep theirs.
Yeah, it makes it much, much simpler. There's no doubt about it. But also, you also have to be careful because he's going to look back on the 2 guys that he let go for next to nothing in Carey and Abro and see how much success they're having somewhere else. And you're thinking, yeah, these guys on our roster, both of them on our D-core, and we got rid of them. So, yeah.
Well, that's the way it goes sometimes. Jean-Luc, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And before you know it, we'll be sitting in the ice house, freezing, watching training camp.
Can't wait.
There he is, former Blue Jackets defenseman and current TV color analyst, Jean-Luc Grandpierre. Coming up next, you're going to get to meet one of the newest members of the Blue Jackets. Forward Miles Wood was traded by the Colorado Avalanche to the Blue Jackets in late June on draft day. Hear what he thinks about his new club he's about to join for training camp next as the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank, continues here on 97.1 The Fan.
No hot takes, no dancing, plenty of stupid. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Burnt out, foggy, running on caffeine and willpower? It's time for a reset. Hydrate Me Med Spa brings next level wellness to Central Ohio with medical grade IV drips, NAD Plus for brain and energy support, and ozone therapy to detox at the cellular level. This isn't just self-care, it's a system upgrade. Feel sharper, sleep deeper, perform better. Now open in Dublin, Grandview, New Albany, and Granville. Book your drip at hydratememedspa.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today. Get Eco.
Aaron, what's your favorite holiday? Labor Day. No, really. What's your favorite holiday? Labor Day?
Get Eco.
Labor Day is when we celebrate the working people of America. Like plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians? Sure, but we're also celebrating nurses, police officers, office workers, firefighters, school teachers, landscapers, and those people who faithfully pick up our garbage on trash day. And waiters and waitresses? And car mechanics and... And daycare workers. We can't leave out daycare workers. Hooray for Labor Day! Jerry, when you look at working people, what do you see? I see the people who built America. I see love. Love? Love with its sleeves rolled up. Wow. Working people are the people who take care of everybody. Labor Day is when we celebrate the working people who built America and keep it strong. Happy Labor Day, everyone. Get Eco at geteco.com.
Great Lakes Hyundai.
Now at Great Lakes Hyundai of Dublin, lease 2 Elantras for $200. That's right, lease 2 new 2025 Elantra SEs for just $200 a month for 24 months. Both your new Elantras come with complimentary Hyundai maintenance with free oil changes and tire rotations for your entire lease. G-Lakes Hyundai of Dublin.com with approved credit, $39.99 down per unit plus taxes, fees, first month payment, 10K miles per year. In time due.
Hey, Ohio State fans. While others cut corners, like that team up north, Valvoline Instant Oil Change is Buckeye-level quality. We train hard and treat every day like game day. We're always quick, but never rushed. And you can stay in your car while our experts do the work. Valvoline Instant Oil Change is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Visit valvoline.com/Buckeyes to find your nearest location and access exclusive fan savings.
Can't get enough Blue Jackets conversation? Good news. It's Hockey O'Clock. It's the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott, the Fan Ohio sports destination.
Welcome back to the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. I'm Bob McElligott, and right now I'm really pleased to be joined by one of the newest members of the Blue Jackets, a guy we haven't even met yet, but you're going to meet him right now, and that is forward Miles Wood. And Miles, first of all, welcome to Columbus. It's been a couple of months now since you were traded. You were traded on draft night from Colorado along with Charlie Coyle here to the Blue Jackets. Have you had an opportunity to kind of get everything figured out in your personal life over these last couple of months as you get ready to come to town for camp?
Yeah, the guys on the team have been great to me so far. A lot of them have reached out to me and told me where to live and stuff like that. So I do have a spot. And I'm just in the process now trying to move all my stuff from Colorado out to Ohio. And can't wait to get there and meet all the guys and the staff.
Tell me about that night, because you were actually on vacation. You were out of the country when you got traded, weren't you?
I was on a bachelor party over in Ireland playing golf. Yeah.
That could be dangerous, because at a bachelor party, you could wake up the next day and say, got traded? Or am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a pretty wild experience, but I couldn't be happier. And I'm just super excited to get the season going here.
Did you have any inkling that you might be leaving Colorado? Were there any indications that they might be looking to shop you somewhere?
I think towards the end of the season, I kind of had a feeling, but if it was actually going to transpire, I didn't think so. But that's just professional sports, and like I said, I couldn't be happier to be in Ohio and start playing some hockey there.
Blue Jackets are going to be your third organization. You started with the Devils before you went as a free agent to Colorado. As you come here, is it any easier, for lack of a better word, that you're going to do it with a teammate from Colorado with Charlie Coyle coming with you?
Yeah, and I also know Dante Fabro, and I played World Juniors with Zach Werenski. So I know just a few guys there, but, the hockey world is so tight-knit. The first day, you make friends so easy. It's the first time I've ever been traded in my career. So it's kind of a new experience for me trying to, move out of Colorado to Ohio. So, just trying to, just can't wait to get there and start playing some hockey.
Being an East Coast guy, are you excited to get to Ohio? I mean, I know you were born in Buffalo and now you grew up and you live in Massachusetts. Are you happy to get a little bit closer to home?
Yeah, for sure. I think my parents are more happy about it because, the games start at 9:00 on the Eastern time zone when I was out in Colorado. So they're happy that I'm back in the East Coast time. And for me as well, like you said, you're a little closer to home. So yeah, it's been good, and just can't wait.
All right, let's go back for you to where it all began, because you grew up in a hockey family. You were born into a hockey family, right? I mean, your grandfather was a coach at Princeton. Your dad played for a couple of teams in the National Hockey League. I mean, was there a stick in your hand from a very early age?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. My dad he was fortunate to play for 11 years or so. And, he put the stick in very early into our hands, and he had us on skates probably 2 or 3 years old. So yeah, it's been a fun process to where I am now. and wouldn't be here without my parents and family for sure.
You know, it's kind of funny because when you have, if you play, I think if you're a player in the National Hockey League and you have kids, like when you look around sports in general, I mean, you can find in just about every sport where there are, a next generation that makes it to the highest level, and they play NFL, Major League Baseball, whatever the heck it is. But it seems like that happens a lot in hockey, and I don't know. I haven't studied it enough to see if it happens more so than those other sports. But it really seems to be something that is, it just kind of happens, and it happens a lot. Was there any, I can't think of the right word here, but I mean, your dad wanted you and your brother to play, obviously, but was there any pressure to, as far as how much you played and how good you got and what level you got to?
No, there was no pressure from my dad at all. The only thing he wanted my brother and I had to do was just be happy and pursue what you wanted to pursue. If we start at a young age, my dad only allowed my brother and I to play 4 months out of the year. He was big on having us play, golf, tennis, soccer, football. And then I got to high school. I mean, I only played 20 games a year there. And then I went to college, and that was the longest season by far, playing 40 something games, and then pro from there. But yeah, it was hockey was never forced on me. I don't know why I gravitated towards it, but I'm certainly happy I am.
I wonder if it has anything to do with the way you play the game with such energy, and almost like you can take the energy that you have and just get rid of it in 2.5 hours. When I've watched you play this league, that's what I feel about you. You think the personality might have had something to do with it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be good on the golf course, so, but yeah, that's just a part of my game. I don't know why my personality is like that on the ring, but I can't complain about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's, look, I get it. I understand. And yeah, when you act like that on the golf course, it's really kind of,
yeah.
What did you, so outside of playing hockey, and you said how your dad wanted you exposed to all those other sports. What was second for you then?
I would say golf. Yeah, I played golf and hockey throughout high school. Yeah, it's just a fun sport. It's a sport that you can play your entire life. It's great to be on the golf course, playing, having some great times, great conversations. And golf is it's just an all-around fun sport.
I tell people all the time, I tell my own kids, it's a life skill, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, it is. Like, so many deals get done on a golf course you wouldn't believe. Another thing that doesn't get tracked in life, but it happens.
Yeah,
happens a lot. I'm talking with Miles Wood, forward for the Blue Jackets. He got traded here back in June on draft night, as a matter of fact. So, so when you were talking about the fact when you were in high school, you didn't play a lot of games, but yet
no, I did not.
You were taken in the 4th round by the Devils. They took you 100th overall. Was there any surprise to you when that happened?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I had no idea because I was a sophomore in high school and I actually broke my foot that year. So I only got to play 10 games. And, so I had no idea that you go through the process of, talking to teams and stuff like that, but there wasn't one team that stuck out to me that was like, oh, they're for sure going to draft me. But when, New Jersey, I guess, called my name, I was sitting at home and I saw my name pop up on the screen there. I was just like, this can't be real. So, but yeah, I had zero idea, but I'm very happy that I was picked there and had a solid 7 years there. It was fun.
So that's funny. You don't play a lot of games in high school overall. You go to Boston College and you play 1 year, and then you turn pro. Was that an easy decision for you?
I think it goes back to my personality. I always wanted that next thing. And my dream from, since I've been 5 years old, 8 years old, I've always wanted to play professional hockey. And once I got that chance to do it, I thought I could make that step. The last thing that my dad was very careful with me about, he was like, Miles, if you're going to go right to the AHL, I would much rather have you play college and get that experience and, you know, play on top lines and stuff like that. So I was in a very fortunate situation where I left college and jumped right in with New Jersey. And like I said, I couldn't be happier. It was such a great spot to play, great people there. And it was a fun time there.
You know, that I'm glad you brought that whole thing up right there, because I was asking you about your dad and getting you, you know, turning you into a hockey player, if you will.
Yeah.
What a resource that is, right? And I think that's great advice. And that, you know, I've been around this a long time. I've worked in the East Coast League and the American Hockey League.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right? I mean, you might as well play college hockey and develop and work out during the week and get some really good quality minutes.
Absolutely.
That's invaluable. So many guys wouldn't have that kind of advice.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And I think that's the one thing that, you know, it was so important to have my dad go through the process and, you know, saw what he saw throughout his career. And, you know, it was just, you know, he was a huge part of who I am now and a big part of my hockey process. And I'm just a very fortunate kid.
All right. Before I get to talking about, you know, what you've done in the NHL and what you're looking forward to here with the Blue Jackets and all of that, I think the greatest story about you growing up in this entire process was, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, when you were 11 years old, you sent a card to Alex Ovechkin requesting an interview, and you told him if he didn't send it back, you were going to check him in the very first game that you played against him in the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
And that happened. I mean, you played against him. I guess you didn't check him because he had an autographed picture for you before the game, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Yeah, and I think it just goes back, you know, that was just a young me. Like the only thing that I wanted to do was just play pro hockey. And yeah, you know, it was such a wild story. I met him right before the game and right after the game as well. He was, you know, he gave me his stick too. So that's something I'll never forget. I still have it. Yeah, it's he was such a great guy to do that. And it, you know, for sure made a impression on me.
Who passed the story along? I mean, who told him that he blew you off when you were 11 years old?
So it was the dad's trip, and right before the dad's trip, I guess they sat down with my dad and just got to know him and know my story and stuff like that. And somehow he, I guess, spilled the beans. So from there, you know, people ran with it and it flourished to what the story is now.
Yeah, you can't tell people in my business that kind of stuff and keep it a secret.
I know. Yeah.
What was the actual interaction like? Because, you know, Alex Ovechkin, he can be a polarizing guy. I mean, if you're not a Capitals fan, you tend not to like him because he's such a good player. But yet last year, it seemed like the entire hockey world was pulling for him to break Gretzky's record. And, you know, I, like you, have had the good fortune of being around him in a very laid back setting in a dressing room and stuff like that. What was that meeting like for you? And I've got to ask you, like, you're new to the NHL. Were there any nerves? Was it intimidating at all?
I was starstruck. Yeah, it was, you know, I was, I think 20 years old at that point. He was a big guy. He was much larger than what I thought in person. You know, post game, he came out with a massive red robe on, and, you know, and I was all in a suit, just so, you know, smiling ear to ear. And he just, you know, says, you know, hey, what's up type thing. Then we just had a full on conversation about where I'm from, how long I've been playing and stuff like that for us. But yeah, you know, he was such a great guy to me. And, you know, I was very fortunate to meet him and get his stick and get a signed picture and stuff like that. So it's something that I will not forget.
Tonight I'm talking with new Blue Jackets forward Miles Wood on the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. More coming up right after this on 97.1 The Fan.
Whatever you're doing right now, just know that Bo Bishop is enjoying a sip of bourbon. Even if this promo is playing in the morning, no judgment.
Oh, sweet morning drinking.
The Fan.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I cannot imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life. There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
At Logan Services, we're more than heating and air. We're a family-owned business that puts people first. For decades, we've built our reputation on honesty, hard work, and treating your home like it's our own. From the first phone call to the final handshake, you'll work with a caring, local team that shows up on time and does the job right. Because comfort isn't about temperature, it's about integrity. Logan Services, family-owned, people-focused, and proud to serve its customers.
Buckeye fans, introducing Behind the O, the brand new app packed with original athlete and fan-driven Ohio State sports content. It's free to download in the App Store on iOS and Android, and every time you open it, you're helping generate NIL dollars for your favorite Buckeye athletes with zero cost to you. Get exclusive access to fresh behind-the-scenes videos, training routines, athlete lifestyles, and more from every Ohio State sport. Don't wait. Download Behind the O now and get closer to your Buckeyes than ever before.
Behind the O, free for fans, NIL for athletes.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean, interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
Getting started in hockey has never been easier. The Blue Jackets Learn to Play program, presented by Performance Columbus in association with Moo Express Car Wash and Kroger, is an introductory ice hockey program for boys and girls ages 4 to 10. Classes are held year-round at the Ohio Health Chiller Ice Rinks. Registration includes age-appropriate instruction and head-to-toe equipment, yours to keep. Hockey starts here at bluejackets.com/learn-to-play.
Create career momentum with us at Worthington Steel. Whether you're a recent grad or a seasoned veteran looking to level up, we'll empower your journey. Join a team that puts people first with career development programs, competitive pay, and excellent benefits, including lower health insurance premiums than comparable companies. Let's drive steel forward together. Apply today at worthingtonsteel.com/careers. That's worthingtonsteel.com/careers.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean, interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
All Blue Jackets, all the time. This is the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Tonight, I'm pleased to be joined by Blue Jackets forward Miles Wood here on the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. We talked about you being drafted by the Devils, breaking in with the Devils, and you got a chance, and you said this earlier, that it was a fun time there and there were good people there. You guys were actually a pretty good team when you were there in New Jersey, too, weren't you?
Yeah, for sure. My second year there, we went to the playoffs, and then we kind of went into like a 3 to 4 year drought where we hit some lows. We got some first round picks in Heischer Hughes, and they for sure turned that team around. And then my last year there, we went to the playoffs again, and then went to the second round and lost to the Hurricanes. But so I rode the highs there and I rode the lows, and to see where that team is now, they're going to be a consistent playoff team. It's outstanding what they've done. That core group is still there. Still talk to them here and there, and the staff's still there. So, it was a fun time there, but that chapter's closed, and now I'm on to new things now. So it's good.
When it became time that you were a free agent and you had to decide what was next, what was that process like for you to go through for the first time in your career?
It was hard because I spent my whole career in New Jersey, and I just didn't know what to expect. It was the first time I ever gone to a new state to play, new team to play, met new people. That first 2 months was for sure weird. But once the season started and stuff like that, it was right back to playing hockey again. So now I know the ropes, and now I know what to expect as I head into a new team here. But don't get me wrong, it was for sure a weird process for the first few months or so.
Yeah, well, you picked a team that had some pretty good players on that one too, by the way. I want to get your take on playing with Nathan MacKinnon, because we had Jack Johnson back here last year, and Jack won the Stanley Cup in Colorado there, and he told me many stories about Nathan MacKinnon and that intensity that he has and the drive to win, not a willingness, a drive to win. What kind of an effect does that have on an entire team?
Yeah, I think he said it perfectly. I think the drive that he has to be who he wants to be and where he wants the team to be, I think it's absolutely insane. He's the best player in the world for a reason. The way he takes care of his body, his mental health side of the game, outside of the rink, it's just things that I haven't seen before in my career. So to see it up close day in and day out, it was truly a spectacular thing to see.
All right, so you get traded to the Blue Jackets, and as you said, a couple of guys here, but I do want to ask you about what your perception of the Columbus Blue Jackets has been, especially over the course of the past year, because with the Johnny Gaudreau tragedy that happened a year ago, it was a huge story in hockey, but the way this team kind of bonded from it and performed, when you talk about tight-knit groups, last year this was really one of the best. From the outside and talking to people and just looking in and the games you played against them, what did you perceive about this group that you're now a part of?
Yeah, I think the first and foremost thing that stands out to me is to where the Blue Jackets were 3-4 years ago to where they are now. They've taken massive strides. They were only out of the playoffs by, I think, 2 points last year. And I think Don has done a great job, getting the right players in, and they have a great, core group there. And, it's a hard place to play. When the cannon sounds, it's time to play. And, I just can't wait to get there. And, the thing that I want to do is try to help this team and be a consistent playoff team. And the fact that Don, traded for me, that's I don't take that lightly at all. The fact that he views me as a player that can help his team is something that, I can't wait to do and can't wait to prove. So just can't wait to get going.
Did you have any kind of a relationship with Don? Because I know he's heavily involved in the USA hockey program, as you have been. Did you know Don at all?
I did not know. Did not know Don.
Even if you didn't have a relationship with Don, he knew who you were, and probably that series between the Devils and Carolina had something to do with it that you talked about earlier.
Yeah, I just can't wait to get there. It was such a great conversation that we had when I was on the golf course. He's super excited to have me, and that's all you want from a GM is just be a part of a team where someone wants you. And Don expressed that, and I just couldn't be happier where I am, and super excited.
Miles, in my job, I sit around and I go through possible combinations, line combinations, and who might play together, who might work together. I mean, I don't do it every day in the summer. I'm not going to lie. But, I've thought about it. And like when you guys get traded here, you think about, well, where do these guys fit in? Do you do the same kind of thing as a player? Do you look at the roster at all and say, man, I wonder where I might fit here, and I wonder who I might get the opportunity to play with, especially at the beginning?
That's something that I don't do. You only can control so much. And, the only thing that I can control is just have a great camp and see where the chips fall. That's out of my control. I don't set the lineup. The players don't set the lineup. So, if you can't control that side of the game, why worry about it? So that's just the way that I carry my thought process through that. But yeah, there's a lot of great talent there, and just can't wait to help them.
All right, so what is on tap next for you? You talked about getting your stuff moved from Colorado to Columbus, but when is Miles Wood going to put the feet on the ground here in Ohio's capital city and get ready to go?
I think I'm flying in September 6th, so just in a few weeks here.
Just in a few weeks, and then you can get in and settle in, get all that crap out of the way, and just play hockey, right?
Absolutely. Can't wait for it.
Isn't it nice when all that stuff is done?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
People forget so much. Like, look, if you're moving just in regular life as a regular person, it's a pain in the neck. When you're doing it as a pro athlete, it's a real pain in the neck. At least you got to move in the summertime.
Right, for sure. Yeah, and then I got to get my car shipped out there too, so I'm not quite done yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's nothing worse than being somewhere new and not having a car.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? When's the car come? That's the important thing. You get here the 6th. When's the car get here?
I hope it's there by the 5th, but who knows with traffic.
Exactly. Miles, thank you so much for having this conversation with me tonight. I really do appreciate it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you play your game in this lineup. I think you're going to be a really valuable addition to this team and help them get even better. So look forward to meeting you in person. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. See you soon.
That is Miles Wood, and you heard him. He'll be here on September 6th getting ready for Blue Jackets training camp, his first in the organization. I also want to tell you, you can rock out with the Blue Jackets to kick off the 25th anniversary season. Join us on Friday, October 3rd at Kemba Live for a special anniversary concert headlined by platinum-certified band OAR. Get your tickets right now by going to bluejackets.com/OAR. Well, that's going to do it for tonight's show. Thanks to Miles Wood and Jean-Luc Grandpierre for being here with me, and thanks to you, as always, for being there. Remember, you can find out what's going on with the Blue Jackets 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just by going to bluejackets.com. Let me give you a little tease towards next week's show. Defenseman Jake Christensen, a guy that played a lot last year, and coming into this training camp, trying to figure out who's going to be part of the third pair. Jake expects that it's going to be him. He's going to be right there like he was last year. You can hear from him next week beginning at 7 o'clock right here on The Fan. That'll do it for the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. I'm Bob McElligott. So long, and thanks for listening to 97.1 The Fan.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
On Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app. New customers opt in and get a free lottery ticket. Download the app and start ordering lottery tickets today. Use code VOCAL. That's code VOCAL on Jackpocket. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 or older. Jackpocket is a lottery courier and not affiliated with the Ohio Lottery. Opt in for $5 in non-withdrawable lottery credits that expire in 168 hours. Terms at jkpt.co/draw5.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS for Kids.
1-877-CARS for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Buckeyes, the 2025 football season is here, and that means three things: football, game day, and smooth Jameson whiskey. Whether you're catching the game at home, at your neighborhood bar, or soaking up the team spirit at a tailgate, Jameson Ginger and Lime at Ohio State Athletics are a winning combo. So cheers to making game days even better with the official whiskey of the fans. Jameson, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Taste responsibly.
Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland, 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York.